Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. Well, I don't see you, but nice to be here on YouTube. This is Dante. This is the weekly live stream with the Pleiadian Council. In the chat box, you can join the Zoom room and you can be with us there and ask your questions and enjoy the nice company of everybody in the space. This happens on Thursdays and it's been happening for a while. You in this channeling get to ask the Pleiadian Council questions. They're best and asked live, so you can type them out. The questions spoken aloud allow for a more interactive back and forth between you and the Pleiadian Council to really fully explore and get to the depth of your question. But written questions also work. This is the last transmission that will be a part of a book that is going to be created later. So all questions that are asked in this one could be used in the book. Only the most relevant ones will be. So just a heads up. There is potentially a private session tomorrow, but nobody has yet joined. One person or two have joined. I need like a bigger group to make it happen. So if you would like to join, please send me an email. It's at the same time of this one, and the private groups give people a deeper chance to explore things in a setting where it's not live and public, and you get the recording of that, and it's a $22 donation, or you can write a review of the guidebook to living love on earth and get in for just $5. I really would love some more reviews for the book on the Amazon website. And if you haven't yet purchased the book, I encourage you to check it out. It's a really deep, like almost 400-page deep dive into so many subjects. And the idea of the book was that it was kind of all-encompassing and could give us a bit of information on every area of life. And this one's going deeper. The channeling course also launches again, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. It will be a very small group. There's still spaces open. Small group is, I would think, better because it gives you more of a chance to ask your questions and have the one-to-one time in channeling and in the group space that the bigger groups don't offer. So hop on that maybe. And I think that's everything I have to say. We're very few today. I'm not sure why that is, but we are very few today. Anyway, I'm going to dive in anyway, so hope you enjoy this session, and I will see you on the other side. Got the incense burning. Am I in the screen fully yet? Seems fine.
A bit of the top is cut off, but yeah, you're still there fully.
Let me put the do not disturb thing on my phone too. What's that sound? Somebody's bringing in a sudden sound right before we started channeling. Okay, we've taken care of it. But yeah, just in case, I'm gonna make Josh the host.
I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Hello, and we say good day to you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and on behalf of many of the guides and guardians supporting you in this process you call Ascension. It is a great gift and honor, a pleasure for us to establish contact with you in this way, for it allows both you and ourselves to expand and come deeper into connection with Source. Today, we conclude a series exploring your chakra system and how to deepen into your awareness in all of these areas, reaching now the final chakra, the crown center at the top of your head. This is the highest center, at least in the 7 chakra system, and it deals with your connection to spirit, your connection to higher dimensions, the non-physical realm. And this chakra is truly open by a deep and complete surrender and faith. This center connects with your brain. It connects particularly as well with your frontal cortex. It connects with the pituitary gland, which plays a key role in regulating all of the other glands of the endocrine system, which each chakra lines up with. There is an upwards moving force of Kundalini energy that comes from the root chakra. And this energy moves through each chakra at a time and activates and catalyzes the transformation of whatever patterns, whatever energies may be stuck and dormant within them. As it reaches the crown chakra, it creates a vast opening, a piercing the veil, so to speak, as a rush of spiritual energy is allowed to flow down into the crown. There is also a simultaneous descending Kundalini energy that comes from far beyond, from spirit, and into the crown chakra. This energy descends through the body and has the same sort of effect of stirring up and bringing to the surface whatever energies are alive and present within the chakras. It is the blending of these two energies from the root up and from the crown down that meet in the heart, that bring about a state of self-realization, or what some call enlightenment. And you could also simply call actualization of your spiritual potential. For all of you are spirit, yet it is then a process of becoming aware of this, coming to understand this and experience this in a very deep way. Your crown chakra connects you to a sense of beyondness. To have an open crown chakra, you have to have a very open mind. You have to consider that you don't really know everything. So one of the key elements to having this open crown is a humility. And this humility is not the same humility that many people consider it to be. The humility where you bow down and humble yourself before your fellow human. This is the divine humility. It is recognizing that all of you as humans don't fully understand anything. From your very limited perspective, you know so little of what exists in this entire universe. We would say it's less than 1% of everything that exists, and even some of the scientific facts you haven't wrapped your minds fully around yet. This kind of humility is a deep surrender. It is a letting go of needing to claim that you know, and being more open to inquire and to ask questions. So this open crown chakra is an expansive awareness. It allows you to shift back and forth quite easily from that very vast, unfocused awareness that takes everything in the periphery and around you into perspective, and then dial into a very specific focus to be hyper aware of what's immediately before you. When the crown chakra is very imbalanced, you stay perpetually in one or the other state. Some people have a very closed crown and they're always in that hyper focus mode where they can only see the details and they aren't able to zoom out and see the big picture. These sorts of people have already decided their sources of information, their sources of truth, and they rely on them without much question. And so whatever they hear from these very limited sources of truth, they believe immediately and will often start regurgitating and repeating quite quickly. There are others who have a crown chakra that is far too vastly open. And these individuals don't know what's true at all. They're immensely confused. They're in zoom out, big perspective mode most of the time. And in this, they don't see the details. They think they understand what's happening, and then they start to move in a certain direction and run into a dead end because they didn't pay close enough attention. These sorts of individuals might be very spiritual in their aspirations and their hopes, though they operate usually under a perspective that there is some division between the realm of spirit and the realm of the physical, and that they would so much wish to go beyond the physical and experience only the spiritual realm. Now, you see these sorts of people very often with who you might consider fundamentalists, but you also see it with people in this new age who are always speaking about things being too 3D and having too many issues with the physical realm and wishing that things could always be 5D. Everyone from their own perspective has different terminologies for it, though the most colloquial way of putting it would be these individuals are spaced out. And of course, the crown connects in that sense with space, the space above you, beyond you. It is like an energy funnel that allows all of the energy above and beyond to siphon in. And when your crown is dialed in a very specific way, you get to choose where your antenna goes. When your crown is discombobulated, is not tuned in, is instead confused and floating and has too much haze around it, you let the environment and those around you determine what energies start to flow through you. And you can bring all sorts of bizarre things that are not really relevant for you through your channel. So the element of the crown chakra is thought itself. And it is your thoughts that determine how energy flows through your being. As the crown connects with that pituitary gland, and yes, the pituitary gland regulates everything else in your body, all of the other chakras, it is your thoughts that determine how everything else in your world and in your body works and functions. So if you really want to change yourself, you must change your thoughts. And we're sure every single one of you who is in touch with these materials has heard that idea before. Though hopefully today we can take you even deeper into understanding how and why. Of course, we've shared very much about the idea of clearing out your belief systems. Though we remind you in this transmission that it is an in-the-moment process when you are finding yourself going down a bad pathway, a dark rabbit hole, getting into loops of confusion or anxiety. It's important to redirect your thoughts. And this is the great gift of the crown chakra. It's observation. In order to choose where the focus of your energy goes, where this cosmic antenna, which is really what it is, brings through you, you have to be able to observe. And observe in a non-attached way. Observe the thoughts, observe the flows of energy, and simply let them be present. Simply allow yourself to experience them. And when you dissolve all of that resistance to what you're feeling and what you're thinking, that is when you can really change. Many people attempt to fight resistance, but if you resist resistance, you create even more resistance. So if you are experiencing any of these states, that sort of rigidity in your belief systems and being closed-minded, that sort of all over the place feeling where your mind is chaos and you feel ultimately confused of what to believe, both of these states are transformed through a non-judging, non-resistant awareness. Allow yourself to be present with whatever is taking place. And if you don't like where your thoughts are going and what they're saying, recognize you have a choice. You must become, in a sense, fed up with negative thoughts. You must recognize that these negative thoughts both have no purpose for you and have no purpose for humanity and have no purpose for the universe. All they do is generate more cluttered, scattered energy. And it's all right to be critical. And we would actually say it's very important to be critical. Yet, criticism is not negativity inherently. Criticism can be expressed in negative ways, and criticism can be expressed in positive ways when it is used to focus your perspective very keenly on how to create improvements. And improvements come by seeing what is working well and how what is working well can be expanded upon and improved upon even more to make what isn't working start working. So again, detached observation is the key to actually break through those negative patterns and to start to shift where your thoughts go. And a final reminder, one of the most incredible ways to activate this chakra is to step into a state of awe, wonder, and if you can't find awe and wonder, start with curiosity. Curiosity is inherently a humble energy. Humble in the sense that curiosity recognizes something is unknown. The most bored and rigid individuals in your world have no curiosity at all. They're so incredibly focused on getting what they think they want that They leave no room open for surprises, for unknown, and for wonder. Though when you engage in curiosity, you're allowing yourself to be entertained by your discoveries. You're allowing yourself to recognize, unknown is before me. How can I explore this in order to expand my perspective, in order to expand my mind? As you step more into this curiosity and meet every day with that energy, you can expand that energy into wonder and awe. You can be mesmerized by life itself in every moment. And so, yes, this crown chakra has everything to do with observation, non-attached presence, awareness of thought and directing thought. And this final thing, curiosity, wonder, awe, and that leads to ecstasy, bliss. You cannot have bliss without that curiosity. So this ties in very well with the formula that we've explained of acting on your highest passion to the best of your ability without insisting on a particular outcome. The insistence on a particular outcome is something that very much blocks the crown chakra. After all, it is resistance that gets in the way of the center more than anything else. And curiosity is one of your greatest keys in letting go of that insistence on the outcome. The arrogant person assumes that they can control everything to make everything happen according to their plan. But the curious and humble person recognizes that life is in a game, is an experiment, is an exploration, and that there are an uncalculatable amount of factors at work in every single moment that could throw any plan off course. And instead of being anxious about that, the curious mind feels even more excitement for it. And as you get used to this, expecting the unexpected, opening yourself to all of the little changes that could take place, opening yourself to the mysterious ways the universe works, you will start to understand that when you're in that surrendered state, your higher mind always has a better plan for you than your lower mind, your physical mind, could come up with. And a physical mind or crown, yes, that is acutely attuned to this idea, sees life as a game and as a play, sees life as a joyful experiment, and allows every endeavor to be filled with that joy and to be so attuned to all of the beauty and all of the wonder and all of the magic that is present in everything. So this means, as you go about your day, spending time to really admire the leaves, the flowers, the trees, really feel your feet against the ground and the breeze through your hair. When you see a person, really stop to notice what about them you admire. Not to make a compliment unless you feel like it, but to take in that moment and to fully cherish it. When you behold a landscape, recognize that you might see this place again, but you'll never see that place in the exact way that you're experiencing it in that moment. So cherish it. And it is this openness of your sight and of your mind to experience life as a delight that brings in a great downpour of inner light. So we hope this supports you and allows you to live lightly. For after all, these upper chakras have everything to do with the light, and they are aware that cosmic light from above flows down into your being and is able to integrate and operate through you. So we will later practice meditation to activate this crown center even more. And for now, we will continue with the questions and explorations that you have, beginning whenever you'd like.
Okay, well, I do have a question within the chat.
All right.
From Jeff. Thanks, Pleiadian Council. In my dream, I translated Esesani Rio Chandler Tyler's book into my native language. Some voice from somewhere asked me spread the message. After waking up from my dream, in my dream, still dreaming like the movie Inception, I called Akira, who is Tyler's spiritual business partner in Japan. Explained the dream in English, but I was surprised that he could speak in even my native language. Then I woke up. Could you explain this dream to me?
Dreams like this are illuminating your own desires. So you're becoming aware of your own desire, perhaps to co-create, to reach out, to support channelers such as this one in these ways, to also bring channeled works to your own culture, to better support people that you may know and others of that culture in understanding these interests of yours.
Well, I would have a personal question.
All right.
Again, great thanks, Pleiadian Council. These interactions are fantastic. About the crown chakra, is it possible, because I've known certain people that would use psychedelics to open it, but is it, let's say, is there a drawback to that?
Well, the psychedelics can blow open the crown chakra. They can bring people into those states of great confusion, as we've said, when the crown is far too open to all of the influences of the different energies and beings around. That's why typically psychedelics are used in the context of a ceremony, and a ceremony is a focused environment and focused ritual that allows for a degree of protection from the energies of both the physical and the psychic environment that one is inhabiting. It involves symbolism, items, and settings that remind one of one's intentions and bring one to focus one's mind during the experience. It creates great safety so that one is not overstimulated by the environment and taking in energies that are perhaps not ideal. And that is not to say that certain festivities or parties even are not appropriate environments to work with such things as well. Though the ones that are most fit are ones that are conscious of people's use of these things within that context and create an intentional space. And in this sense, this is also ceremonial. What happens is that some individuals will continuously take these things in repeated ways and be in environments that are not conducive to that level of focus. They will be influenced by many other energies, and it will cause them to be far too open afterward. They can get attachments to lower astral entities. They can get psychic attacks. They can get overridden by their own negative beliefs as psychedelics bring to the surface old thought patterns and make one conscious of them. But again, if one doesn't have that set and setting to actually be able to engage with such things, sometimes these thought forms take over and the person then, in a sense, becomes possessed by their own negativity. These are all potential things that happen. And yes, otherwise, psychedelics can be used to expand the opening of all of the chakras, really. Though, in order to do that safely, one must have their own practice of learning how to observe and quiet their mind and direct their own energy so that the experience doesn't overwhelm them. And they must create that safe space or seek one out in ways that are exciting for them so that there isn't a negative influence during the experience.
Wow. Okay. Wow. It makes a lot of sense because I had a friend of mine that played a lot with microdosing mushrooms, and eventually at one point told me that it's as if there was the opening for positive entities, but then something scared him out, which was a negative entity, and he just decided to close things.
Yes.
Then would you, in a way, when it comes to the Kundalini breathing, would that be one a recommendation of efficiency?
For psychedelic experiences?
Yeah, in the aspect of it reaching the, what do you call, the DMT that we have in our mind?
Well, you don't need to use natural ways to create a psychedelic effect when you're already taking psychedelics. And this is another way that people overdo it by adding on too many layers of intensity. Psychedelics are intense enough in their own right. And what you ought to actually do in those contexts is practice more quieting and calming meditations. So slow, deep breathing, controlled breathing that fully oxygenates your body rather than this very rapid sort of breath that can, yes, put you in a particular state of consciousness, though when combined with psychedelics, it often will push you into a hyper aroused state that isn't really conducive to the deeper healing work.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yes.
Hello, my dear Pleiadian family.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, hello. I would like to ask a question, if that's possible.
Yes.
Hi, it's so good to be in contact again. I have a personal question concerning my energy field. I'm trying to understand how something was able to happen I was in Africa for a year, in Senegal, and while I was there, um, I underwent a series of dark magic attacks that were quite relentless and very surprising to me, because I felt that an adequate protection from black magic was simple disbelief in it and the idea of vibrating higher. But I was somehow either unprepared or unready for the levels of dark magic that I encountered there. And my connection both to my roots of light, to the crystalline center, this crystalline core of our Mother Earth, and my connections to my star families, including the Pleiadians in the stars, were completely severed. They were cut. And I was unable to connect either down or up for months. And I had to have help from different people to be able to remove some of these obstructions. And so I was wondering if you could speak on that, how this was able to happen and how we can deal with these energetic challenges in our lives. Thank you.
Yes. So it is true in a sense that belief is a powerful enough level of protection. Though in this experience, there were many, many forces and people working against you. So as it so happens, your consciousness is not necessarily as individual as you think. Entering into new environments, new communities, the thought forms and the beliefs of many others around you can influence you. Imagine or remember going back to school as a child, simply by being in an environment where everyone is taught a certain thing and thinks a certain thing, the behaviors start to become robotic, and assumptions start to come into effect. So by being in this environment, first of all, in which the belief in black magic was very present in everyone around you, and there were also many, not just one individual who was invoking such energies, this sort of belief crept back up in, and you were, in a sense, overpowered. It takes some time to recover because there was a great shutdown. It even manifested as random occurrences that seem to interfere with your technology, interfere with the ways that you would reach out to your own community. This was part of the direct and sometimes indirect ways that this magic was impacting. So there are many lessons to unpack in this experience. First of all, remember that you have done nothing wrong. You were following your passion. You were exploring what seemed relevant for you. And part of that is learning many lessons from a very different culture and many different ways that people see things. You will learn through this the power of intention and the power of collective focus, through the way that many were against you, and then it took many to bring you back into your full power. So the biggest lesson here is about community, really. For before, you were someone who believed it possible to do everything on your own and wished to do everything on your own, from healing to rituals and so on and so forth. That was a part of your values and part of how you saw things. And this experience showed you both the negative potential and now the positive potential of community, and the reality that oftentimes you will need to rely on other people in order to be the best and clearest version of yourself.
Wow, this resonates so much. And so in terms of, let's say I would have to return to this same environment, not that it is in my plan right now, but theoretically, if I had to return to this environment, what would be the best way to prepare myself energetically?
Well, in some environments, there is no protection.
Right. That's why I said preparation.
No, what we're saying is in some environments, you can actually be protected. If you were native to that environment, there would be levels of protection. But some environments do not really welcome you. Some environments do not want you and what you represent to them as a part of them. And the culture of that environment is to push out what they don't prefer. So
yeah,
there is no protection in such an environment. It is inherently unsafe.
Right. So is the best advisable course of action to stay out?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I have perhaps additional questions, but I can wait for others to have a turn. Thank you so much, Pleiadians. I appreciate it so much. I have more questions.
Hello, Pleiadian.
Hello, welcome, yes.
Thank you for allowing this. Thank you for letting me asking question. Just, there is someone the queue before me?
No, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. I would like to know, you keep talking about the future, creating the future, and I would like to know in this world, what, let's say I want to find or to create a job in a company, and company will fall down, money will fall down. So now, at this moment, what can we do to create new kind of work, new kind of how do you say, a way of earning money and bringing this knowledge into companies, into the collective. What can we do for mutating the workforce and at the same time making some earning? Thank you.
The key into having money is being a vibrational match to the energy of abundance and of gratitude and appreciation. And then secondly, it is selling something, period. And selling something can be anything. It can be your time, and most often it is your time, though you have to bring that into your awareness that when you're working, which so many of you say that you're doing, what you're actually doing is selling your time. So money is vibrational match to abundance and gratitude and selling something. That's how you get it. And sometimes you can be such a clear vibrational match to the energy of abundance and gratitude that people just give you money. Most of the time you will have to sell something.
Okay, so that means every way of, let's say, counseling, healing, whatever, making an association, an organization, and being this vibration of abundance at the same time, it will make it happen.
Yes.
Okay, but if an economy all falling down with people with no money, how we can still make money?
That idea of the economy totally falling down is in some senses just a theory. Yes, inflation will happen. Yes, people may lose jobs, but none of these things mean that money will just stop existing and people won't have any. What will be more present is that people will be, and already are to some extent, more afraid of spending their money. So all that means is that you have to be something so powerful that people want to spend their money on what you're offering, really. You have to raise your vibration even more. You have to be even more charming and inspired when things get tough. And when things get tough, it will actually be easier to make money for some, because so many people will be so shut down and so repressed that those who live in a state of gratitude and ease will be very almost shocking to others, and they will wonder what's going on with that person. I want whatever they've got.
Okay, because in my understanding, when it will go like in crisis, if we focus to the basics need, like growing food, like allowing healing, counseling, giving consultation for the enterprises to adapt in such situation with a futuristic kind of work. All of this basic need will do it, will make money. Am I right?
Yes, that is another way of doing it as well, by becoming self-sustainable. Though we want you to reframe this idea of growing your own food and taking care of your own resources. Many of you are doing it out of fear, but do it instead out of love, because we want you to know that the revolution that you seek won't be something so dramatic and violent as you might have seen in the past. It will be actually rather peaceful in so many ways. And this shift to growing your own food is not as much about being totally independent as it is about getting your hands closer to the earth, and everybody recognizing that it's possible and not difficult to have that connection. In the future, humans will move out of cities. You have so much space. There is so much space on your planet, you don't recognize it. And as you get reacquainted with nature, it will be commonplace for people to grow their own food and have their own garden, to know how to live off of what naturally grows in their area.
Okay, but in your point of view, let's say, for example, January 23 to March, it will be like chaos, and then after it will stabilize. When do you see the stabilization, when it will be more easier for the different area of the planet? Because I have heard like next year shutdown of internet. And I don't know if
The internet
main,
will go down.
okay. So for the economics, do you see it stabilizing? And what is
You don't need to
probably?
fear about the economy. We've said it so many times. Yes, it's all happening, but there's nothing to worry about. If you apply the guidance that we share with you, economy, so what?
Yes, but if I need to buy a
But you
chicken,
still want to know.
okay.
We're just
Oh.
letting you know that we've already said the most important thing, that it
Yes.
doesn't really matter. When you follow the formula and when you live in alignment with your heart and you know how to be a part of true community and not isolated and dependent on bureaucracy, you'll be fine no matter what happens. And that's what
Okay.
should be recognized. But if you really want to know, yes, things will be crazy this winter, and you'll find a great shift taking place in April.
April? Oh, okay. Because okay, I will have to let for someone else, but going into communities, it's something I don't really want to go, so that's why I was. But I will let for someone else to talk. I talk too much. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks to you as well.
I have a question from YouTube.
All right.
It is from Sanda. Even though I eat only one meal a day, exercise, and shower with cold water every day, I am having trouble losing weight. Can you advise on the cause and the solution, please? Thank you.
Eating one meal a day is not the right way to lose weight. When you eat one meal a day, you cause your metabolism to work very incredibly slowly because your body is trying to draw the energy from that food and make it last as long as possible. We wouldn't encourage you to do that at all. You can intermittent fast and still lose weight. It doesn't cause that to take place. But even intermittent fasting every day is not itself necessary. You humans are going far too outside of the scope of what traditional medicine knows and understands. You can eat 3 meals a day. You can eat as much as you want, really, as long as you're eating fibrous foods. Of course, not too much. Eat only until your belly is 2/3 full and stop eating. You can get used to not feeling completely full and instead have water. Yes, exercise every day. Allow it to also involve training your muscles and some degree of cardio. Though you certainly need to eat, but what you eat is very important as well. And to lose weight, you need to make sure that you have healthy amounts of fiber, plant fiber. Greens are quite important. You can include certain supplements, including green tea, spirulina, moringa, ashwagandha, to accelerate the weight loss process. Though, remember that eating itself is quite important. You don't need to go into ketosis. You don't need to go raw. You just need to watch what you eat and make sure you take out white flour, white rice, refined sugar, and reduce sugar of all kinds, really. And finally, we'll say one more thing about this is that the key to losing weight, beyond all of these physical things, which are important, the emotional core is always, in a sense, of more importance because it is something that you need to really investigate on a personal level. You can't simply listen to some formula that a health professional has told you of what you need to eat and how you need to exercise and get it right. You need to also connect with what is the emotional weight that you are holding. Physical weight goes as a protection to prevent one from feeling vulnerable, and it is a way that emotional traumas and feelings of negativity towards oneself accumulates as the physical fat in the body. So get in touch with the emotional weight, and remember that your emotions are not something to purge and release, but something to integrate and learn how to feel. And that can mean a lot of crying and yelling, shaking even for some individuals over periods of time, but you're not pushing the emotions out of you. You're learning how to live with the emotions and let the emotions guide you to make self-caring choices. That's all your emotions are asking you to do.
Can I ask something?
All right, sure.
Thank you. I was wondering why now we have so much channeling, like Basha, people like you. Why there is no some human physicist who approach themselves of channelers and and solve some mathematical or some physical problems, because it's look like so much more easier. It's only needed to connect and to ask question, and the channeler will be given some guidance, and the physicist will start to look for answer and to create um, more new technology. Why it's not happening?
You're having a sort of distorted perspective as to what channeling is, because the channeler's mind is still active and is still part of this process. The channel is simply attuning his mind to this invisible psychic energy coming from the guide, and the guide has information that the channel doesn't have access to. It doesn't mean that the guides that are speaking have access to all of the information in the known universe. If the channel is not proficient at mathematics, it doesn't matter how good we would be at mathematics. It isn't in the vocabulary that the mouth is speaking. And so everything that we say is also something that the channel has the vocabulary to speak. And that is the same thing about every single channeler out there. So maybe a physicist or somebody with the technical skills to work through the mathematics could learn how to channel. Though the issue is not that this is impossible. The issue is that many of these people are more rationally minded, are more logical in their thinking. And so the idea of channeling and the idea of going into a trance state and receiving information from spirit is not something that they are that inclined to do, but it most certainly will happen in the times to come. It simply hasn't been possible just quite yet.
Okay, and is it possible to create some alphabet for recognition of the ET? Let's say, for example, angel will touch your right shoulder, Arcturian your right forehead, or something like this, to people start to create more bonding. Is it possible to create some alphabet or some method in one way or with sound or whatever to bond this connection?
Why would you want something like that?
To help the mind to let go and allow the connection.
But something like this doesn't help the mind to let go. It actually makes you more focused and more obsessed with getting things right. What you need to do is to let go ahead of time and accept you're not knowing, instead of having an experience and immediately trying to understand, why did I have this experience? How did I experience this? Do I deserve this experience? Did I do something that made this experience happen? Who was I in contact with? What did they want to tell me? All of these questions brings you out of the wonder and the magic of the experience. It's okay to question, but so much of the time you humans experience something and then you immediately get stuck in your rationalization of the thing. But instead of rationalizing, appreciate your experience, have bliss and wonder and awe that you experience something so mystical. Why do you need to label everything? Why do you need to define everything? Why do you need to know who rang you up on the cosmic phone? Can't you instead simply experience that you were contacted and enjoy the quality of energy that flows through you through that contact? That
Thank you so much.
make you much more resonant as a receiver.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
Pleiadians, I have a question.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for this transmission. Back to the crown chakra, I'm very curious about particular yoga poses that may help open this up. As a practice, I've been doing headstand for several minutes and then transitioning into meditation, and then sometimes incorporating cacao in a small type of ceremony or prayer for myself. And I'm curious if you have advice or insights about perhaps the process or a way to help connect those practices. Thank you.
Well, everything you've listed is already working quite well. Headstand is the most powerful pose for the crown chakra, and doing it a little bit every day will certainly help the crown chakra to stay in balance. Even if you don't have the strength and the coordination to do it quite yet, to simply put your head against the ground and feel what it's like to put more pressure on it will cause an influx of energy to this area. The balance and coordination involved in headstand is one of the greatest ways to activate the crown itself. The crown requires balance, and every way that you challenge yourself to stay in balance, both through asanas and also through balancing the many different avenues of life that you walk, are all very useful for the crown chakra. So in addition to the headstand, yes, incorporate more balanced poses. Child's pose is also very useful for the crown chakra, as well as all of the inversions. So handstand, forearm stand as well can be very useful. And of course, the most common inversion, the downward facing dog, is also activating for the crown chakra. So all of this is useful. And as well, these work more with the third eye, but also activate the crown. When you look at yantras and use visual meditation, this is incredibly activating for the crown as well. They can be traditional yantras, or they can be mandala-like works of art. Even using the candle flame is a very specific kind of meditation to activate these upper chakras. So anything that you find beautiful can be a sort of meditation to visually activate the third eye and the crown together. Cacao, it is a crown activator. It is also a heart activator. You can know that a plant activates a certain chakra by the different colors that it exhibits. And it may not seem so obvious with cacao, but if you've had some of the raw beans before, you'll note that they are purple or violet. So that denotes it as a crown chakra activating food, and it is something quite helpful to bring yourself into that crown chakra balance. And yes, the meditation is the most important thing for the crown. So yes, you're doing everything just right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for those insights. And a follow-up question to that is there any practices that are helpful or even maybe necessary to not close, but I guess not leave ourselves quite so open once after that, thereafter? I know you've talked about that a bit already, but can you elaborate on that about us, quote unquote, protecting or making sure our chakras are not too open?
As you do visualization practices, you can visualize a sort of egg-shaped encasement around your body, your aura. So visualize this, and as you do, notice if there are any infringement patterns. Notice if there's any parts of your body where this egg-shaped barrier seems weaker. And visualize and breathe into sending energy to those parts of the sphere. And beyond that, the real practice is in your daily life. It is noticing when you are around energies that are not really resonant or are fearful or are too chaotic. So things that would infiltrate your consciousness include, yes, the news. This is the biggest one of all. But also social media can be influencing this crown chakra and causing these disruptions. The chaotic environments and cityscapes can cause a disruption. This is not always true. There can be a level of focus that you develop to sort of be very clear and focused on your path so that these places don't actually cause a disturbance in your field. And it is necessary to, after being in these sort of overstimulating environments, bring yourself back into silence with breath and energetically shake it off. Oftentimes, showering, shaking, or playing music are ways that you can release that vibration and come back into balance.
Okay. Thank you so much. My love and appreciation to you, Pleiadians. Thank you.
Hello, Pleiadians. I ask a question.
Yeah.
Recently, I'm feeling like I'm just pinging around in so many dimensions consistently throughout the day, and it feels obvious to me and okay, but I'm looking for some guidance on how I'm doing and where is best to place my attention.
Many dimensions in what sense?
As in, sometimes I can feel a lot of density around confusion and guilt and shame. And then sometimes I feel that I'm just completely where I'm supposed to be and everything's perfect. And it keeps ping-ponging between these two where I'm like, I am two different people when I do this.
Yes. It is. First of all, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the most important thing we want to say, that your judgment of the experience, if there is any, simply causes a delay in the healing process. For you have decided to raise your vibration. You have decided to live a life that you before dreamed of. You've decided to challenge yourself, and you've decided to up your self-worth and think positively about yourself and about what you're here to do. And this is no easy task. once you initiate this process, then the doubts beneath the surface that were before repressed or simply at a low tone, not so loud, become very loud and very agitated, because you are bringing in an energy that gives them a sense that they're being kicked out, and they very well are being kicked out, but you can't do it immediately. It requires that soft and gentle presence with yourself and with those beliefs and with those voices, so that you can acknowledge them, hear them, let them move through you, but be very completely non-attached to them in the process, allowing them to be present while not identifying as either the extreme bliss that you experience or the fear and shame that you experience. Recognize that both of them are just mind stuff, and you prefer some of the mind stuff, but in the end, all of it is mind stuff.
Yeah. So is there, like, that is everything I needed to hear. Is there a full space? Like, where is the space for preference?
Preference? You know what you prefer already. You prefer the blissful, glorious state. You prefer recognizing yourself for your true essence and recognizing yourself as source. So acknowledge that as your preference, and in seeing that, you know that you don't want to deal with the negativity and the shame, and it ultimately doesn't serve a purpose. So know that all of these attitudes are not as individual as they seem. And this is a key that will help many of you to snap out of the loops, because all of the patterns play out because at a certain level you believe them to be helpful. Shame often exists because there's a certain level of belief that says, if I shine too brightly, if I am too proud, or if I am too great, other people will cut me down, because no one wants to see somebody who is that perfect and fabulous. And the shame pattern can be a way of keeping one safe so that one is not standing out too much. And yet, the ones that you really resonate with aren't going to cut you down for being brilliant. And also, by relating to yourself in that way, you relate to the collective in that way at the same time. That attitude of judgment that exists within shame also must exist and be directed towards others in the collective. And if you don't want those patterns to exist at all within humanity, then you must clear them out in yourself and have no judgment towards yourself at a fundamental level. And so by transforming this shame into a deep yet humble pride, you will open yourself to having a complete open heart for all of humanity. And yes, remember that true humility isn't humble yourself to other humans, but is to humble yourself to the divine. So in that sense, you can be simultaneously humble and pride, and they need not contradict each other in any way.
That is so helpful. Yes, I'll be transcribing that. Thank you. I feel like I'll ask one more question. One sec, Waverly. I'll ask one more question.
Just one more question.
No, darling, I can't right now. I can't right now. No, I can't. What I want to ask about is parenting. I chose to walk the path of 24/7 with my daughter, as some would label home-ed. And we're traveling at the moment in Greece, 6 weeks. It's amazing. It's just, I'm feeling like the confusion over how to serve when it fills me with guilt using technology in front of her but I'm trying to document my journey so that other people can see what's possible. I'm just wondering for some guidance on that, of how negative it is for the children to be impacted with so-called adults that are on that are providing online support to the collective.
There's nothing to be ashamed about for being human. So many of you have deep addictions to the phone. Comparison is not really your friend, though. Play with it just for a moment to understand that your use of technology is with a purpose, whereas there are so many who don't even know why they're looking at their phone. They're just doing it to protect themselves from their own emotions or from the world around them. So that in and of itself is not showing your daughter anything negative. It's showing her how to be something different than what other people are choosing to be.
Thank you so much. Forever. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks to you as well.
I have a
Hello.
question from the YouTube. Oh, sorry, Mike.
That's okay. May I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You've mentioned before about how we present to others as a means of refining those who are attracted and resonate with us. Can you expand on this a bit more? Because I find this is an area where I'm ready to expand, and I'm not sure in what direction to think about this.
What you prefer most to wear is the truest expression of yourself, and the truest expression of yourself will align with and resonate with the people that are most similar to you. And so simply by wearing what you prefer to wear, you're doing this automatically. And the challenge for most people is to recognize what they actually prefer, because so many people attempt to conform to the style and to the culture that they have grown up within. And for this reason, they're wearing things that they don't actually care for just to fit in. You can do this in some examples when it serves a purpose. If you're going to a business conference, it would be useful to wear a business suit. And of course, maybe you want to add a special pin to it, or wear certain glasses that have a bit of personal flair. That's well and good. But you want to do well in your business meeting, so you wear the business suit. But you recognize the business suit has nothing to do with you. You're just wearing it because you're going to the meeting. The same with a wedding or a funeral or something else involving your family and what have you. But then when you're freely exploring your own life and creatively exploring who you are, choose what you want. And that will bring about the connection with the people who really want what you want.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I've got a YouTube question.
All right.
Hi, I want to get rid of fear when creating artwork and creating my own unique path, but my fear is too big. I'm so afraid of deciding based on what I truly want. I feel like I'm too conditioned. I want to know and penetrate one way to dedicate my life, but always hesitating and don't know where to go.
What are you really afraid of? You have to, first of all, identify what this fear is about. Are you afraid that your art may be rejected and that people won't like it? Are you afraid that you will fail? Are you afraid that you won't be able to create something worthy in the first place? Understand what your fear is, and then recognize that your fear is an illusion. It's not really relevant or resonant, because failing is part of the process, being rejected is part of the process, not doing as well as you thought you would is all part of the process. And all of this leads to doing better. Rejection is redirection, leading you to better opportunities and more resonant connections. Or rejection is a lesson in how to do it better and how to be approved of by certain supportive individuals. Failing tells you how you can do it better again. All of these experiences help you to improve. And if you're not open to failure, you're not open to improvement. And if you're not open to improvement, you're not open to the journey of life. So clear up your shame around failure, clear up your shame around not doing it good enough, and simply do it for the sake of doing it. If you really love to do it, channel that love into creating the art and experiencing the creative process.
They say thank
Hello.
you.
Yes.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
I would like to ask, what's your definition of trauma?
Trauma is an unresolved belief and perspective generated from a physically or emotionally debilitating and shocking event. So trauma is not the fact that you might have been beaten or what have you. It is that no one helped you resolve what happened. It is not that you got into an accident, but it's that you didn't get the proper support in recovering from that accident. So here is the key, and this is why there is so much hope for trauma, because it doesn't mean that you are broken because of what happened. It means that you need to integrate and unpack that experience.
So the integration is the resulting of the trauma or getting rid of trauma, right?
The integration is resolving the negative belief and attitude that resulted from the trauma. For example, we'll share a couple. In childhood, somebody might have been told that they need to shut up and not express themselves day in, day out. And this caused the trauma that brought them to fear speaking their truth. The beliefs that they learned were that don't speak unless you have something relevant to say. Keep your mouth shut. No one wants to hear you. Your voice is not important. And by questioning these thoughts as they arise and redirecting the flow of energy so that no longer does that individual believe any of these things to be true, and instead they recognize their voice has a purpose, their voice has a power. They don't need to say anything particular in order to speak. And to share their truth is the most healing and powerful thing they can do. Once those beliefs are adopted and new behaviors are adopted, the trauma is resolved.
Okay, thank you. From time to time, I'm having fear dreams, and I believe it may be also due to the trauma I experienced. So I believe it means to me that there is something I need to deal with and integrate it, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. And another question I have, what's the best of use of technology for kids? What would you suggest?
Best use of technology?
Yes, especially mobile phones.
It would be good if their use of it was limited to 1 hour at a time. a little bit more would be okay. For them to play games and watch movies and everything is well and fine. You will be very integrated with your technology in the future, so don't fear about that. Though the issue is technology separating individuals from nature and from each other. So make sure they have as much socialization time in person as they have screen time, and as much time in nature as they have screen time. And sometimes the only way to do this is to really go with your children to places in nature and go with them so that they can hang out with other children.
And can you speak more how we will be integrated with technology in the future?
You will live in a very intelligent world in the future where artificial intelligence is very alive. You will have screens and holograms directing so many occurrences and events. Your technology will actually be telepathic and will read your thoughts. Yet at the same time, you will have rediscovered the immense power of nature. So you won't be disconnected from nature. And again, you won't live so close together and on top of each other in cities. You will be more spread out, and there will be vast technologies that help you to get where you need to go with ease. It will be a very different world.
And what would be the time frame for this world?
It's gradually happening over the next century.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
Hi, Pleiadians.
Hello, welcome.
Is it okay if I ask another question?
Yes.
Thank you. I've been giving a lot of thought lately to the topic of the education of children. I have an 8-year-old daughter whom I've never been able to satisfactorily school other than homeschool. And I've been wondering about the types of structures that are most suitable for the education of our children. As a single mother,
Something happened? It's audio. Hello?
excuse me, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying, as a single mother, this is something that requires a lot of organization and forethought, and I've often wondered about the possibility or likelihood of opening a school or having a type of educational structure for more children. And this leads me to my question. I was wondering if you know of individuals on Earth who have channeled from either Pleiadian or other star families these type of curriculum for helping think about how to organize a type of school for our children. And if not, what would be some ways to get creative in that co-creation, as our children are some of the most precious assets or gifts that we have. So that's my question.
We don't know of anyone in the world that has channeled from us or any other extraterrestrial group schooling system. What we say about the schooling of the future is that it will be mostly self-directed. Of course, there will be basic curriculum that you introduce children to, but beyond that, what they study will be based upon what they're interested in and what they're excited about. For you will come to understand more that this self-motivated energy of passion is what allows somebody to be most mentally focused and present with what they are doing. And take the most from it, and that will be the foundation of so many new programs. There are the Waldorf schools that are out there, and we would say that this might not be channeled from us, but it is, yes, channel in its structure, and it has of course evolved since its inception, though it is in so many senses more useful than the conventional schools out there.
But still very sectarian. It didn't work for us. Waldorf did not work for us.
All right, then you've learned the lesson, and perhaps you'll find something different.
Or create something different.
Yes. And that would be just as useful and even more useful. And in creating that different thing, yes, recognize that children's passion for learning will help them learn the very most. And so go beyond the scope of thinking they need to know this and this and that. Ask the children what they want to know the most about and allow that to shape the way that they learn.
Right, but I'm thinking about some core fundamental aspects like meditation, visualization, how to communicate your needs, boundaries, like these kinds of things that you keep growing up and thinking, wow, I wish I would have learned this in school. Or about how to, as you're saying about touching the earth, learning to relate to the earth in terms of growing your own food. Like, shouldn't these be part of a type of universal curriculum, like how to live on earth, how to relate, how to cultivate harmony within the self, to the others, and to the earth?
Yes, these are some of the most important things to learn. And actually, as it comes to emotional intelligence and relationships and all of this, children can actually understand a lot of the material out there for adults, simply that you don't teach it to them. So allow yourself to share these ideas with the children. And of course, visualization, meditation, all of these things can be taught. Children can generally not meditate for as long as adults, so don't try to force that upon them, but do introduce them to it, and do introduce them to yoga and to all sorts of things.
Right, thank you. I appreciate these insights. And I had one more question, if possible. It's a short one. Yeah. I have recently adopted a very young kitten, female kitten. Her name is Shaman.
Yes.
And I was wondering how you could assist me, how I could grow and expand the telepathy between me and this cat. Ways to enhance the telepathy between me and the cat. Thank you.
Practice sending thought forms to the cat and see how the cat responds. Notice when you're thinking of the cat or maybe dreaming of the cat and how the cat might come to you. Get close to the cat, play with the cat a lot, and this telepathy can grow naturally with time. Notice what happens when you send the energy to the cat and see how the cat responds. And this again will be the greatest way to learn and develop this bond.
Thank you so much. I feel she's very Pleiadian. I'm very happy with her. My blessings to you, and thank you for this transmission and all of your
love. Yes, you will.
Thank you.
May I have one more question?
That will be all for today. With unless somebody who has not yet asked any question has a question.
I also had one more, but it can wait.
All right.
Sorry?
Thank you very, very much for this interaction, for this transmission, for this co-creation. It has been a great gift to us, and it has supported us in experiencing more of all that is through the reflections we experience in your reality. Our love is unconditional, and we will continue interacting with you again in future transmissions. we know we did say we would lead a meditation today, though it seems better fit for another transmission, for the channel is a bit tired, and it is great to extend these messages about the chakras for another time. So stay tuned. In the upcoming transmissions, there will be meditations for the third eye and the crown chakra. Our great love and thanks to all of you, and we wish you a fabulous rest of your day or evening then.
Thank you, Dante.
Thank you, Dante.
Hey, thank you, Ed.
Welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, everybody.
Cheers.
Just little reminders before chit-chatting and what have you. There was the announcement of a private session for tomorrow. There has only been one sign up, need 3 or 4 to make it happen. And with this one, there is that offer of the discount, bringing it to only $5 for the session. If you submit a review on the Amazon book, the easiest way to get there is tinyurl.com/starshinebook. And posting a review there and screenshotting it, you can get in for just $5. Otherwise, it's $22. And that offer will hold for the future private transmissions as well. But again, it will be canceled unless we have a couple more signups by tomorrow morning, my time. The channeling course launches again on Sunday. Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. There's still space, and all participants joining for a second time get in the program for just $222, which is like a third or less than a third of the full price. So if you're interested in diving in again, it'll be a great group, and it'll be a very small group. So that means a lot of personal time. And beyond that, I'm available for private sessions. Great way to support. And also donations are always really appreciated for these free transmissions that happen almost every week. And all of that information on sessions and on donations is available on dantestarshine.com. Session contact tab. Okay, said all the things. How did you guys enjoy the transmission today?
Always great. Always amazing questions from everybody that everyone can speak to. Thank you for doing this, Dante.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Where are you right now? Where are you right now?
I'm in India.
We're in India.
Yeah, I'm in India. I'm in which is like a big, sprawling, intentional community partnered with UNESCO that is in the state of Puducherry, south. There's like a huge meditation center here. There's many eco-villages and different things happening. It's a very chill place. Yeah, especially considering it's India. It's very chill.
Yeah. I would love to get information from you later on that, because I'm going to be in India in March.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but on the north. But since I'm going to be there, I would love to see more of India.
Okay.
So I'd love to get information from you. Thank
the
you.
North's another universe. The North is really crazy. Maybe I'll go there again someday, but I had a really tough experience.
Really? In the North? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, I want to hear.
And I just wasn't prepared. Like, I didn't really have enough money. I had a lot of things stolen on the first day, and I wasn't well. There was a lot going on, and then just like the stress of being there on top of it was overwhelming. But the North is really beautiful in Rishikesh and Dharamsala and Amritsar, and I'm sure there's many other places in the Himalayas that are just super fresh and nice. The Himalayas are special. That's the most special part of the North.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'll be in Dehradun at a Tibetan ashram to do a pranayama retreat.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
Details. That could be cool.
Yeah, I will. Actually, I will. It's a 10-day retreat with a yogi who I've worked with. She's from Mumbai, and she's really amazing. She's actually a philosophy professor in Mumbai, and she's been practicing Iyengar yoga, and she's of the age generation that she trained under BKS Iyengar and Gita.
Wow.
So yeah, she's really legit. She's legit. I'll send you the information for it because I think there are openings because it was supposed to be 2 years ago and got postponed, of course. And I think there's, yeah, I'll send you that stuff. Perfect.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, we'll share.
Are you in Hawaii yet? You made the move?
No, I'm actually in California right now at my parents'. And then in a week, I'm supposed to go to Hawaii. So that's what I'm sorting out the next 2 days is when that's going to happen. Because I just got my move. The shippers just got here a week ago. So it's slowly, gradually migrating everything west. So yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Yeah, blessings, safe journeys.
Thank you.
You'll enjoy the island very much.
I hope so. And I hope to see you and others of our community there someday.
I might come.
Yeah.
I might come on the way back home, you know.
From India. Yeah. Big Island, powerful place. Powerful place.
Intense, but different intense.
Yeah.
Hi, Dante.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, I'm on here. Yeah, I was a bit late today. I had to go into Poshutla.
Oh.
Find an ATM and a SIM card. So you know how life is.
Yeah, I know how that is. The ATM isn't working. Trick.
Yeah, there's no ATM in Zipolite now.
It's not there at all?
It's there, but it says error, get a technician. It has an error message.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Mazunte, also the ATMs are down in Mazunte. So
Mexico.
Mexico, yeah. Okay, well, I'll move on.
Have fun.
See you around. Yeah, you too. Take it easy.
I miss it.
Let me show you then.
Yeah, show me.
How do I switch the stream around? There we are. There's the sign that says Poshutla.
Oh, remember? You're in Poshutla. My God.
Yeah.
Place to channel.
There's the sign.
God.
Yeah.
We had a nickname for Pochutla.
Good old Mexico, eh?
Years ago, our nickname for Pochutla was Hell.
I quite like it.
It's really not that bad, but like after living like just such a beach life for so long, when you go into even a city like Pochutla, it's like, why am I here? Spoiled.
for the ATM, probably.
Yep, that's it.
Have to get cash. Okay, I'll go and see if it's working. Wish me luck. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Ciao.
Who else is gonna chat me up?
Bye, though. Thanks, Dante. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you later.
Really epic time, man.
Yeah.
They had some really good questions. There's some good noted ones for shorts.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff came through today.
Energy-wise, how are you feeling?
tired.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
must be like 10.
it's, I don't know, what time is it now? almost 10:30. India has this half-hour time zone thing. It's like very unique in having its own half-hour time zone. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing sessions at this time for the past several days because I just had sessions, and and this is the only time I can really do them for a lot of people, based on the time zone. So I'm getting used to it, but also 3 days in a row of sessions at this time is not what I prefer. So yeah, I'm a little over it.
I feel ya. How long are you gonna stay there?
Oh, I don't know. I've just kind of let go of the whole idea of returning to Mexico in any timely fashion. Because initially I was like,
Okay.
yeah, I'll go back to Mexico and experience some of the season, but it's just like I've made it all the way around the world. I guess with flights, that isn't such a hard thing to do, but it feels pretty intense, and I feel really good here. And it's so different than what I know, and it has a very different effect on me. It chills me out a lot more. So I think I prefer that feeling for now, and I'm just gonna ride it and see how long I stay. But I mean, eventually I have like invitations to Cambodia and to Australia, and those will be my last stops, and then coming across the ocean. Invitations to be like teaching and like, get room, board, food and stuff in some of those places. So those are the opportunities lined up, and I'm just exploring India till then. So
That's fucking cool. Hey.
yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna sign off as well.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks
Hey,
everybody.
thanks again, man.
Welcome and thank you. And a reminder to everyone, the guidebook to Living Love on Earth is out. Please buy it if you haven't already. And even if you're not coming to the private session, the reviews are really helpful. So many ways to give back. Hope you can, and I really appreciate your support. It's an amazing way to support this channel, which is not monetized and offers a free stream almost every week. So thank you for giving back, and I will see you next week. Much love, many blessings, and have a great day.
Loads of energy. Thank you.
Lots